My blade is at your service.
Alright everybody, welcome to another Irelia solo top commentary. This is another game I played last night, a ranked game obviously, and this time it is going to be myself as Irelia against actually Talon in the top lane. The jungle is going to be Sejuani for us and Jarvan for them. And mid lane will be Twisted Fate against TF, while bottom lane is Ezreal, Sona for us, and Caitlyn, Alistar for them. So it should be a good game. Talon is a pretty interesting champion, someone I have not played against in a very long time. He's got a very low kind of play rate, at least amongst the people that I play against. I haven't seen Talon in months, so it will be kind of tricky figuring out how to play against him. It's kind of always exciting to see, you know, these kind of older, less played champions in ranked games, because they're not terrible champions. They're just either a little bit harder to play or not as great as other kind of alternatives. Like Kha'Zix and Zed kind of do Talon's job as like AD assassin a little bit better than he does. But actually, now that Zed has been nerfed in the 3.7 patch, maybe Talon will see a little bit more play, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit more about like items and runes and all that stuff this game, just because I didn't get a chance to do that in my last Irelia commentary. If you're reading chat, it's kind of ridiculous. Apparently, they're like, I think their Talon or something is looking up on like Lol Nexus or Lol King at our Kassadin's rune page, which it is kind of funny if we check it out. He starts with 40 ability power, with no and he also started mana crystal and health potions, which is kind of funny. But he has 0 extra MR and all that good stuff. Anyway, Talon comes in through the river, which is like a little bit weird to me. Usually people don't do that. So I kind of am expecting Jarvan to do something stupid, which he does. I'm like, God damn it, Jarvan! I'm still level 1. I unfortunately started, or fortunately for me, I started with E, but I didn't want to use it there just because I just wanted to get out. I didn't necessarily know that he would be able to get that attack off on me. He actually jumps into my tower range, and I'm able to, so starting E there really, really helps me, because at level 1, I was able to stun Jarvan under the tower and throw down Ignite. I thought that last tower shot was going to go off, but he flashed right before the tower shot went. Which was good for him. I thought I was going to get first blood, and so I actually popped a ghost just in case if I need to like finish off one last auto attack or something, but he just flashed out. Nothing happened, except I did end up blowing both my summoner spells, and Talon didn't use anything, so he should be pretty far ahead from here on out. If you actually look at the CS, 16-5, that's pretty terrible. So I'm just trying to freeze the lane a little bit. I know he's pushing, like he's just throwing down his W or his rake, whatever skill it is, all the time, which is kind of annoying. Apparently he has a ward. I didn't realize that, but if you look down here, Jarvan actually threw this down when he was coming through. Jarvan started with 2 potions and a ward or something like that, which is kind of interesting. I'm actually going to go just to our side's vision so we can get a little bit better of a sense of what I was kind of thinking when I played this. Finally level 3 though, get to use W to farm up some minions a little bit better. I'm doing a pretty terrible job last hitting though, but you know, starting to try to claw my way back into the lane. Kassadin actually just fell to Twisted Fate there in mid lane, and he used his flash as well, so things are not looking too great for our 30 AP Kassadin. 8 CS to 15, not the best place to be in. I thought it was kind of weird that Kassadin didn't start with wards, just because, like, I don't know, if I'm a jungler and I know that there's a Kassadin on the enemy team, I'm just gonna camp that guy until level 6, especially if I see him start with no boots or wards, right? Like, you're just asking to get camped. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Jarvan didn't actually gank him. That was just him dying solo to Twisted Fate. So could have been worse. Could have been better. But anyway, I go down to ward, just because I kind of need a ward at this point, and I'm starting to push out into the middle of the lane. But I think Talon backs. I'm not really sure where he is. Trying to stay away from the bush. I think eventually I get my courage up and check the bush, like, oh, no Talon. Alright, sweet. Get to free farm. Tell my team that he's missing or went back to shop or something, but... anyway, I guess to go back to the runes that I was using this game, I'm running attack speed reds, armor yellows, magic resist blues, and movement speed quints. And that's actually the exact same rune page that I use when I jungle Udyr, and or attack speed oriented junglers like Udyr and actually Cho'Gath as well. And the reason I use attack speed reds is because Irelia scales really, really well with attack speed. Like her W, it just does 75 true damage, I think, when you activate it at level 9 per attack, which is really, really fantastic. Like in an extended trade, you're doing upwards of like 300 to 400 true damage whenever you go on anyone, once you get like level 9. Additionally, your Blade Surge triggers the W as well, so if you auto-attack and then Blade Surge immediately, you get two basically, like, two auto-attacks off at once. Like, you can use your Blade Surge as a way of kind of refreshing your auto-attack, which is really, really great, especially because your auto-attacks will eventually do a good amount of damage with the true damage that you'll be pumping out. So, with that, attack speed is a really great stat for Irelia, and so that kind of brings me into like what kind of items I like to build on her. This game I'm actually trying something that I haven't done before, which is I want to try rushing a Zephyr. And Zephyr is the item that builds out of Stinger, the double dagger attack speed CDR item. But Zephyr is Stinger plus a pickaxe, and so it provides I think 50% attack speed, which is really, really high. As well as like 45 or 40 attack damage, and CDR, as well as tenacity and move speed. And that's where Zephyr is a cool item. Tenacity on an item is great because it allows me as Irelia to pick up items other than Merc Treads, like either Berserker Greaves or Ninja Tabi, or I think this time I want to try cooldown boots. And here, okay, so just to go back to the game, I really want to go back onto Talon, but I just have no mana, because I haven't been back to shop yet, and I'm not the greatest at conserving my mana. That's just something I need to work on. But anyway, now that I'm shopping, I'll go back to that. Zephyr is awesome because the movement speed and tenacity are great. Like, obviously Irelia has built-in tenacity with her passive, but your job as Irelia is basically to hunt down and take out their backline. Like, you're like a bruiser, tanky, assassin, like, just awesome champion. And you want to dive into their backline and just not get kited, right? Like, as long as you're sticking on them, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. And so your main priority is to not get kited. And in order to prevent yourself from being kited, there are, like, 3 things you can do. You can either slow down or CC the enemy, you can increase your own movement speed, or you can reduce your own, or increase your own tenacity, like reduce the effectiveness of the enemy's CCs. And so the build that I do will like let me do all three of those. Zephyr will give me move speed and tenacity, and then in addition to Zephyr, I want to build a Triforce. And so Triforce will give me more movement speed, some really fantastic sustained damage from the Sheen, and then the slow from Phage is just really, really, really great. And Irelia is kind of she's a very caster-oriented brawler, and so you're going to be triggering your Sheen passive really, really often in drawn-out fights, which will actually add substantially to the total DPS that you'll be putting out. So anyway, that's my plan this game, is to pick up Zephyr and Triforce, and then hopefully some CDR boots or something like that. Here, I don't have Ignite up, but I still want to just kind of put some damage on Talon. Like, that's just all of my cooldowns just going out. I used about like a third of my mana for that, but it was pretty worth it, right? Like, using mana and cooldowns to bring your enemy laner down to like a quarter health and possibly force him out of lane is definitely a good trade. Our team is doing pretty poorly right now, but I think Kassadin is now level 6 and he's starting to try to counter gank in the bottom lane, and I think they pick up 2 kills there. Unfortunately, I tell them like, yo guys, Talon's missing, watch out, I don't know where he is. He's been gone a long time. I don't know if he's coming back to my lane or going down there. Unfortunately, if we look down here, Kassadin walks into a brush and just gets Taloned. And the Ignite and Bleed finish him off. So, that's no good. But it tells me that Talon is bottom lane, so I'm just trying to push out this lane as fast as I can. So that I can try and force Talon to miss some CS at tower and experience. So while it was great for Talon that he went down and picked up a kill on our Kassadin, who still at this point has less than 30 CS, it's actually giving me some time to free farm, which is kind of nice. So I just push that out, head back to base, and go and buy some stuff. So let me talk about items again. So I picked up a Stinger the last back. This time, so Stinger is awesome, except you're a little bit squishy, right? Like it doesn't provide any kind of sustain or stats that really help me brawl in lane that much. The attack speed is great, but I want something to kind of keep myself alive, so I pick up a Doran's Blade and some potions and a ward. Doran's Blade and Stinger is a pretty great combo. That's like everything you need as Irelia. That's health, that's attack speed, that's lifesteal, and damage, right? So Stinger plus Doran's Blade is pretty great for Irelia early game. I think another option I could have gone, another route I could have gone at this point is, instead of rushing to finish up the entire Zephyr, I could sit on Stinger while I build a Phage, and then after I have a Phage built up, then finish up Zephyr. And that's something I'll probably try in the future, because that, like, Phage gives you a really great amount of kind of tankiness from the health crystal. Like, it's a surprisingly tanky item, especially if you pick it up early game. And so if I had done like Stinger plus Doran's Blade plus Phage, that would be really fantastic. That's like a really powerful laning combination of items for Irelia. Like, that's really strong. I didn't really think about that too much, and so I ended up just picking up Stinger and the Doran's Blade, but I might try that next time. I think Talon actually stole our red buff during his roaming escapade, which is no good. He might have taken his own red buff. That's probably more likely. But anyway, I don't really want to fight a red buff Talon, although he jumps onto me, so I immediately stun him and just put a lot of damage down onto him. He comes back on me, and so I throw down Ignite. He is forced to flash out. I don't have enough health to continue chasing him because I was pretty much at his tower, but it definitely forced him out of lane. Took out his flash also, so that was good. At this point, I could do a couple things. I can freeze the lane, which is what I'm doing, or I could shove out and immediately back. And that's what I should have done, right? So this is another mistake I make. Like, I don't take free backs when I have the chance, right? So I just force Talon out of lane, and instead of like immediately shoving and forcing him to lose CS, then going to back myself so that I come back to lane with equivalent item value, I hang around and try to freeze and let Talon come back without missing really any CS. So that was dumb, and you'll see why it's dumb in a second. I go in on Talon, put some damage on him. That's actually pretty nice, but his Ignite is up now and mine is not, and so he's able to make some pretty like powerful, like, I don't know. I've never really played against a Talon. If you look at his items, he's got a crap ton of attack damage, and I completely underestimated his burst potential, and that was 100% my fault. Yeah, Talon's pretty strong. So, anyway, that was kind of dumb, and that's what like a Phage would have helped me there. Like, that would have been more sustained, that I would have been able to live through that, but whatever. Anyway, at this point I've got almost enough gold for a full Zephyr, so I'm just going to hang out at base until I can pick that up. But if you look here, their bottom lane is just crushing. Kassadin is able to pick up a couple cleanup kills though, which is great. But yeah, there we go. So Kassadin now has 5 kills. He only has 38 CS, but he's got 5 kills. If we look at the gold, he's still 800 gold behind their Twisted Fate, but that's alright. He's doing as good a job as he can, given that he went so far behind early game. And so, you know, if you can't CS, get some kills. That's a pretty good way to play. Anyway, I came back to lane with my full Zephyr and Doran's Blade, and I'm kind of like that play that or like that damage that Talon put on me like a couple minutes ago kind of scared me, and so I'm trying to keep my lane decently pushed, or frozen, I guess. So I go back, kind of farm up the golems. Kind of rude because Sejuani's right there. I'm like, oh, whoops, whatever. I'll just trade you. You can take some of my lane, I'll take your golems. So she pushes that out really fast, which is fine because I see that Talon's mid, but at this point I'm just gonna, I think I pop my ult here and just shove out the wave. Yeah. Because I just want to keep forcing them to lose CS. Although Jarvan's actually here, but I don't know, he's tanking a pretty big creep wave. I'm not sure if I do anything about this. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so he jumps in. As soon as he jumps in, like, I know that he doesn't have any escape. He uses flash. Unfortunately, my Blade Surge is down, so I couldn't jump out. I wanted to Blade Surge out, like, out of his pit, but that didn't work. So just kind of waited out. I had full health, like, as I had just gotten to lane, so everything worked out fine there. And I think that allows me to pick up at least parts of my phage. Anyway, that was just like a pretty sloppy play on Jarvan. They didn't have any wards, and I kind of took advantage of that. But at this point, Talon is just doing really, really well. He's picked up 2 kills from roaming, plus the kill on me, and he's also keeping up on CS. Like, fantastic ult by Sejuani there. I wasn't really expecting that. Talon also just goes way too balls deep, gets exhausted immediately by Sona, which is great. The Sejuani and Sona are putting out really great ults, and that's kind of a theme that you'll see in the rest of the game as well. But I don't know if you saw the beginning of that exchange, like, I had just come back to lane with another health crystal, or ruby crystal, and like, immediately just jumped on TF, just because I didn't want him to do anything, and I knew that, like, I was decently tanky. I had my ult up as well, and just wanted to see what would happen, mostly. And what happened was pretty great, so, you know, don't be afraid to force fights if you can get a stun and some damage off on, like, a really important target like Twisted Fate. So, anyway, go back to farming. We didn't have a creep wave there, so we couldn't actually... Okay, I'm actually gonna go back and... Okay, sorry about that. My client just froze, actually. Apparently I can't rewind or replay things with Little Replay right now since the 3.7 patch. But anyway, so this is that fight where I jump onto TF. Like, if you can get a catch or something, that's always a good choice, especially since their TF is extremely fed. Plus, I was able to kind of force Caitlyn back quite a bit, so she wasn't able to do any damage, and fortunately, Talon is quite squishy, and when he dives a tower and Sona ults him, he's pretty much useless. So that was all good from us. And then I'm going to go ahead and keep it on our Kassadin as I kind of show the rest of this little exchange where they try to put some damage in the tower, but we have no creeps. And then here, I think, is where Twisted Fate ults. And that was the play I was trying to get a rewind of. Okay, so here we go. As soon as TF comes in, Sejuani immediately exhausts him. And on top of that, his little ghosts actually go onto Kassadin and Sejuani. And so TF, he poured it in with a gold card and was trying to throw it down onto Ezreal, but the exhaust actually slowed him enough that he was not able to run and catch up with the Ezreal and actually use the gold card. So Ezreal survived by the skin of his teeth, and a great reactionary exhaust by Shyvana. Anyway, so that was good. I was able to pick up my Phage. Let me move these around again. And we are now tied on kills, still a little behind on gold because if you look, they've got 3 towers to our 0. But we do have a dragon from earlier in the game, and I think we're going to try to fight this next one as well, but anyway, we're definitely a lot better than the 0-5 or 0-6 start that we had, so that's a good thing. Alright, so we come in here, we see them through our wards, and here, so I see TF, and I jump onto Caitlyn actually, because she shows herself with an auto attack, and I don't know why, but I think she's, yeah, okay, that's what happened. So she tried to run to this ledge and net over, but she netted a little bit prematurely, and just like died, and that was definitely the wrong move. Like, her flash was down, so she wasn't able to use that, but like as soon as I jumped on her, she should have immediately just netted away. There's no reason to stand near a Irelia with a Phage who's just kind of going to town on you like that. So we were able to pick up a quick 2 kills. Talon had come up through this side, and we just kind of collapsed on him immediately, so that was good play from us. Barely get the stun off, if you see that. Our health values are really similar, and he's pretty obviously trying to get a flash over here, so we make sure we get the quick kill on him before he's able to get away. And then free dragon. So that ended up working out quite nicely. And I've now got myself 4 kills and a very, very solid gold lead on everyone else in the game. Plus the CS that I've been able to keep up, so things are looking quite nice for us. And so I wanted, this is kind of funny, I saw this big juicy creep wave and started making my way up there to go steal that away, but saw Ezreal and decided to give him a little bit of CS while I just stole our jungle, so it's always nice to give your AD carry some creeps. Anyway, so I go back and pick up Sheen and a dagger, which is a pretty great thing to do. One of the really great things about building Trinity Force, I'll talk about this a little bit. Actually, right here, unfortunately, Ezreal gets caught out. I can't stun him because I don't have the correct health there, but at least trade the kill. But I did have to blow my ghost for that. But anyway, we see them trying to steal our blue buff, but with Sheen and Blade Surge, I'm able to easily steal that away. Fantastic ult from Sejuani over the wall here, and then Sona does another really solid ult, so that we were able to pick up all 3 kills there, which is pretty great. Between the Talon up top and the Alistar and Caitlyn in here. So, I don't know, I think that was just a pretty substantial misplay on their part to like be that far into our jungle when, first of all, they're 4v5 because we had just killed, or I guess it was 4v4 since they traded Ezreal, but yeah, that was pretty silly. I throw the Ignite on TF there at the very last second, and do not get out alive, but that's alright. Unfortunately, I ended up giving Jarvan my red buff, but it's not the end of the world. And here, so Ezreal has just finished his Iceborne Gauntlet, and so he should be able to kite, there we go, pretty decently. I don't know what he's doing there, that was super dangerous. If Talon had his Cutthroat up, that would have been Yeah, the diplomacy up. I don't know. No, the cutthroat. That's the one that charges. Is it? I don't know. Yes, teleport. If he had cutthroat up, he would have been absolutely dead. Anyway, I don't know how Talon works. Apparently Ezreal was more confident in his knowledge of Talon's cooldowns than I was, but that was kind of ballsy. Anyway, at this point I've got Triforce, Zephyr, and my CDR boot, so things are looking great. So I pick up a couple wards and try to put down some wards so that we can make some picks and hopefully like force a fight or something. Because like right now I feel that I'm really far ahead based on like CS and item levels, and like just finished my Triforce. That's a big power spike for me, and so like I don't have any item pieces. I've got all the 3 major items that I wanted, and so I kind of want to find someone and just brawl. And so I come around, ping out the top tower, and head into their jungle with Sona so that she can safely put down a ward. And come back to, so I'm not warding there. I'm going to put my ward here just so that we can see them, but unfortunately I just get a free tower. And, you know, it's still nice to follow your support around when she's warding, you know, behind enemy lines like that. I saw Talon coming through here, did not see these guys until it was too late, and I'm like, oh crap, there's 5 of them. Twisted Fate comes down. I immediately stun him and put a lot of damage down and actually get the kill off. But Jarvan and TF and Talon and Caitlyn all kind of go on me. So I just run. Like, I know I'm dead, I just run. Because I know my team is coming up from here. And so my theory there, or my thinking was like, if I can split up their team, like split Caitlyn and Talon away, then my team can 4v2 the rest of them. And that's pretty much what happened. And so, I don't know, I think that was the right choice for me, but we ended up coming out really far ahead there, which is good. But yeah, I knew I was dead, so I just kind of wanted to draw their damage away and let my team kind of clean up safely. But actually, while I'm dead, that means I get to pick up my fur upgrades on my boots. And the reason I get those guys, that's really silly by TF. Like, Sejuani is super tanky, and he should have known that, like, as soon as he threw a gold card, Kassadin made a great teleport over the wall. Good plays all around. But anyway, fur boots are sweet because I get to run really, really fast. I think I mentioned this earlier, but like, as Irelia, you want to dive into their backline and not get kited. And the move speed from Trinity Force, the fur, and the Zephyr is gonna, like, once I'm on someone, it's gonna be really, really hard to get me off. And that's kind of my plan here. Plus, with these 2 items, I have a ridiculous amount of damage. Like, I have pretty fantastic attack speed for my W to do more damage. The Sheen plus the like everything I have right now is pretty much pure DPS. I'm a little bit squishy, but Trinity Force goes a decent ways towards kind of minimizing the squishiness factor here. At this point, I see us pinging dragon, so I just want to start blue for Kassadin. Apparently he doesn't want it, so I just keep killing it. Fortunately, Sona gets caught out trying to ward, I think. Yeah, there we go. But she does blow the Twisted Fate ult and the Caitlyn ult, so that's not terrible. But we are now fighting 4v5. But Kassadin gets a good little chunk down there. And we're still in a pretty good position to fight this. Even though it's 4v5, we're pretty good. Like, Kassadin's doing a lot of damage. Great pick from Sejuani. Now it's a 4v4, and we've got a Kassadin, and that's a great place to be. I tried to help out our Ezreal here. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out very well. We ended up getting really split here. Like, Kassadin's doing his thing, and I actually tried to... So, like, I saw Talon and Alistar come from behind here, and instead of diving onto Caitlyn with Kassadin, I kind of stayed back here and tried to help my Ezreal. Unfortunately, I think Talon blew his flash. Yeah, Talon blew his flash to pick up the kill on Ezreal, so he wasn't able to get out, but we did pick up both kills on Talon and Alistar. So it was definitely worth it, especially because I'm still full health and can just easily tank down Dragon myself. But yeah, decent fight for us. Could have gone better, but they made a pretty big mistake of kind of splitting their initiation. Like, we caught out Jarvan here, while Talon and Alistar were over here, and TF was like walking through over this way. So they made a pretty big misplay, and we were able to capitalize on that really nicely. I don't know when this happened, but apparently I have 11 kills now, so I'm like super fed. If we look at the gold, I've got 11.5k, which is about 2,000 more than anyone in the game, and almost 3,000 more than anyone on my team. So we are in fantastic position. Like, if there's someone you want fed going into late game, it's either the Kassadin or the Irelia. And if you look at where the kill spread is, it's on both of us, and so that's a pretty good spot to be, especially considering the rough start that Kassadin had early on. Like, he still has barely 105 CS, but that's all right. He's got 9 kills. We're doing work. I had a suspicion that they weren't there, and if you just look at that CC was absolutely fantastic. Again, I know that I'm ahead. I just picked up Giant's Belt and a Ruby Crystal, so I'm not afraid to just face check those bushes, especially since, like, if they do engage on me, I can just stun them. And that was a really great play. If you saw, as soon as I walked in here, I stunned up, I think it was the Talon or the Caitlyn. Sejuani ulted across here, caught all 3 of them, and then Sona followed up, and I think she missed the Talon, but got both the Jarvan and the Alistar. So that was great play for us, and it actually forces them out and gives us a free Baron. The only reason I'm not helping them is because I know, like, their entire damage threat is dead, so we have pretty much free reign over that at this point. And I think I've got enough gold here for my Warmogs. So, I think at this point they're probably gonna start, like, surrendering soon or something, but I guess to talk a little bit about items, and how I felt about this kind of item path, I did I really like Zephyr. A lot of people really like building Blade of the Ruined King on Irelia, and that's another really fantastic item. Like, there's nothing wrong with building Bork. The only things that I take issue with are that it takes a little, like, it's an expensive item. I mean, so is Zephyr, but, like, you don't really need that much lifesteal as Irelia. Like, you've got a lot of innate built-in sustain, and so having that much lifesteal is kind of overkill. Plus, I really like the tenacity and cooldown reduction and move speed that Zephyr offers. Like, if you look at me, I'm just cruising around at 465 movement speed. Like, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, I really like Zephyr, the way it plays. It's kind of hard to rush it, though, I found. Like, I felt kind of squishy early game. Oh crap. So now me and Sejuani are 2v4ing. No big deal, we can do it. Amazing ult from Sejuani again. I think I'm able to pick up at least one of these kills. Yeah, there we go. So, me and Sejuani are so tanky that we can survive and win a 2v4. Apparently they surrender now, and for whatever reason the spectator game kind of bugs out and crashes. So, thanks for watching. I'm still going to talk a little bit about items, though. Finish what I was saying about Blade of the Ruined King and Zephyr. I really like Zephyr a little bit more than Blade of the Ruined King, even though Bork offers you the active, which is amazing for chasing down and hunting squishies in late game. I just really like the tenacity and move speed that Zephyr offers, although it's kind of expensive. So I think next game I'm going to try building Stinger into Phage and then finish up Zephyr. So, like, maybe get a Phage and or Doran's Blade before finishing the Zephyr, just because that way you're a little stronger in lane, and I don't know, like, Zephyr doesn't offer any kind of sustain or health, and so you're really squishy with that item. And Blade of the Ruined King and Zephyr, building both of them is a really huge investment on, like, no survivability. And, like, as Irelia, you want to be able to dive in without fearing for your life too much. Like, you need some sort of tankiness. And that's why I really like Trinity Force, because it's not a tanky item, but it does give you a decent amount of beefiness with the phage there. And like everything with the exception of the crit chance that Trinity Force offers you, the crit chance and ability power are kind of worthless, but everything else fits really, really nicely into Irelia's kit. Like the Blade Surge triggering your Sheen is a fantastic addition, and like really increases your DPS in a sustained fight. Plus the phage procs on your auto attacks and Blade Surge also can like really help you chase down people. Plus, like with just Zephyr and Trinity Force, you are doing a lot of damage and you can then build pure tank, whether it's a Randuin's or a Warmog's or a Sunfire or whatever you end up going for. The other thing that I'm not a huge fan about with respect to Blade of the Ruined King on Irelia is that like late game your job is to dive squishies, right? Like late game my job is to like jump onto the Caitlyn or Talon or Twisted Fate and kill them before they have a chance to significantly impact the team fight. But like all those are pretty low health targets. And so the Blade of the Ruined King passive, the % health damage, isn't going to be as useful when I'm attacking squishies. So like Bork is pretty great on someone like Tristana or Vayne or Ezreal or someone who's going to be kiting tanks and attacking tanks for like a substantial portion of team fights, because the % health damage is going to be really important there, or like more noticeable. Whereas someone like Irelia who's going to be diving squishies, it doesn't make as much sense to build the % health damage. It's obviously still a good item, but I just personally prefer the Trinity Force plus Zephyr combination into pure tank. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If you have any comments or whatever, feel free to write them below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. See you guys next time.